All right, so we are going to continue with taking inverse trig derivatives. We've just done sine inverse x. Now we're going to do cosine inverse. So, just like before, we have cosine of x equals y, and we want to know this derivative without memorizing it. So, cosine of cosine inverse and cosine of y. We will have, these will cancel, we'll have x equals cosine of y. And now we can take this derivative as long as we know our trig derivatives and how to do implicit differentiation. So we take the derivative of the left side, that's 1. We take the derivative of the right side, that would be negative sine y. And if you forget this, of course we can reference this table. Negative sine of y, and we must remember the chain rule. We're going to be multiplying that by, I wrote dy dx last time. Let's write y prime this time. Same thing, of course. So we've got 1 equals negative sine of y times y prime. And this time I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative sine of y. Y prime equals 1 over negative sine of y. And you actually really don't need many trig identities in calculus, but some of you are maybe fresh out of pre-calculus and you're thinking 1 over sine of y, that must be cosecant. So this could be seen as negative cosecant of y for those of you who are especially proficient. Okay, and so we have y prime is equal to 1 over negative sine of y, or negative cosecant of y. And just like last time, I want to remind you that we want our derivative to be in terms of x. And in order to do that, we must go back to the triangle. We can pick any angle to be angle y. And we're going to use the fact that x is equal to cosine of y to our advantage here, to figure out a way to get sine of y. Okay, so cosine of y is adjacent over hypotenuse, and that is equal to x. So we need to pick up one side to be x, one side to be 1. Here, because of the last video, I have a good idea that I want the first side that I'm dealing with to be x, so the adjacent side, and the second hypotenuse to be 1. So the cosine of y is the adjacent x divided by 1, and that is true. And okay, we just need to find out what this opposite side is. So I'll use a w. O looks too much like a 0. So Pythagorean theorem, we have x squared plus w squared equals 1. 1 squared is 1. W squared equals 1 minus x squared. W is equal to the square root of 1 minus x squared. Okay, so that's our side w. I can go back, just put that equals that 1 minus x squared. And great, now we have all the sides that we need. We are going to need to take the sine of y. So the sine of y is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So square root of 1 minus x squared over 1, or y prime is equal to 1 over negative sine was 1 square root of 1 minus x squared over 1 minus x squared. And yes, we could say this is over 1, but when we divide by 1, it's just the same thing. And I don't like a double fraction. We don't need that. And there you have it. There is the derivative of cosine inverse of x, or arc cosine of x. Some textbooks use arc cosine, some use cosine inverse. But, yep, there there you have it. See you next time.